Okay, so second part of the pixel stretch. Now we are going to make a selection of our main subject, the main element that I need to play with, and that's going to be the color. So in order to do that, you're going to pick the Marquee tool, and into the style of the Marquee tool on the top here, on top menu, instead of getting the normal style, we are going to have a proportional fixed element. In the width, you're gonna put 1, and in the height you're gonna put the maximum value, and it's gonna be something like just 1000. It don't gonna accept 1000, so you're gonna give you that the approximate value is gonna be 999, so that's okay. Once you have this, you're just gonna pay attention to the kind of color that you need, some kind of element that could be interesting to stretch, like the reflect into the air, the colors in the sunglasses, some part in the skate, this kind of stuff. So, but you can do that in 2 steps or more. So once you have made the selection, you can just try to go around. I'm gonna avoid the sneakers here because there is not so much color, and as you can see it's done, but we can't see it because we are not close enough. So you can move it then in order to pick some interesting color, like I said, the sunglasses or the air or this kind of stuff. Sorry. So in order to continue with this element, we just need to make a copy paste from this selection. So you're going to press Ctrl J, and as you can see, you can have this new layer with the pixel here. Pixel, you can rename that by double clicking on it. So I'm going to put that on top here. And if you don't want to be annoyed by this kind of stuff, you can press Ctrl or Command, select your 3 layers that way, and press Ctrl G or create a folder with it, and we're gonna rename it background. Okay, so from now what I need to do is to just make, I think it's still good to then make a copy of our pixel stretch, but for the moment it's just a line. Let's see what happened with it. We're gonna press Ctrl T, and then when you're gonna stretch that out, you have to press Shift in order to be able to transform that. It seems that it doesn't work, but in order to see the result, you have to press Enter. And as you can see, you're gonna see the result here. So it's quite okay, and you can still transform and modify the different elements. If you want to add, I don't know, maybe some more line, you can still make some selection, but you have to change your style. Don't forget to change the style after. You have to go normal again. So you're gonna be able to pick one part or to duplicate it the way you want. I just advise you to keep a copy of this one, so you can create a new document with this selection. You can press Ctrl C or Command C, Control New Document, press Create, and just paste this element in order to keep a backup of your pixel stretch. So once you have this, we're just gonna put that just, it have to be just here behind our skater. So you're gonna drag your element just under the skateboarder, and now we're gonna be able to play with this. So mainly the effect that I want to give, it's some kind of a wavy effect here. So what I can do here first is be sure that I get the limit of my elements here. So as you can see, I don't need this part that's still here, because when you transform, it's appearing there. So I'm pressing Ctrl T, transform, in order to be into the limit, and I press Enter, and I repress Ctrl T, and now I'm gonna right click and press warp element here. So with the warp, you're gonna be able to pick one handle here and move that the way you want. So as you can see, you can give lots of movement into it, so that's very interesting. Maybe I don't want to keep this black line here, not so interesting. So what I can do is, for example, picking this line with my selection and try to maybe if I want to just pick again this part, maybe it's not gonna have the same kind of stuff for you, but yeah, it's just to give you the sensation that you're totally free to move the different element the way you want. So I can, for example, pick this part and yep, we put this kind of element here. So I'm gonna press again Ctrl T, warp, pick the handle, and yeah, try to move that. So this is okay, the kind of effect that I want to have. I want really something, and I want to this red color fit with my sunglasses here after. But first I'm gonna enhance the wavy effect here. So I'm gonna pick that way, so you can really stretch that the way you want. You can even pick the interior handle in order to have a different kind of stretch effect, to have something very round and very smooth here. So you can pick some different kind of elements to make the match that you are looking for. So for the moment, don't pay attention to this part. We're gonna erase it after with a mask. So you have to create your stretching effect really the way you want. Yeah, I'm looking for reaching the limit here in order, or you can even stretch that a little bit more to have some more wavy effect. So you can set that in a different way. I'm gonna stretch that as low a little bit here and then zoom out to see what happened. Okay, if you heard this little tiny noise, it's because you click around outside of your of the nest of the transformation. So this is not a bug, it's quite normal. So okay, I'm happy with this warping now. So I'm stretching my effect that way. You can still enhance and rearrange the different kind of element into it by pressing Ctrl T, and you can warp again the different element. But as you can see now, it's the full element, so maybe it's a little bit less convenient. This is why I advise you to keep a full backup of your element. So now I'm clicking onto the mask and I'm gonna paint with a black color here in order to erase the part that I don't need here. Okay, so this is mainly my stretch effect is done. We are going to set some different kind of light and shadow into it. So in order to do that, so this is actually my background here, and we are going to add a new layer, and this layer is gonna be clipped onto this one. I'm gonna show you why. First, you are still with your brush tool. I'm gonna pick the white one, and I'm gonna set the toughness to a lower level. I want something really smooth, and I want as low that the flow is gonna be set to 30% here in order to really have some smooth click. And I'm gonna click just around this element. Okay, so once you have this, I doesn't want that the painting is gonna be displaying to this element. So if you want to clip, you just press Option or Alt, and between the two limits of the layer, you can directly set to this light. It's gonna be put on onto your pixel stretching effect, and you can as low set that to overlay, and as you can see, that's gonna give it a little bit of pop out. It's not really need to. For the moment, I'm gonna let it in normal, but just to say that you can change the blending mode in order to create something different. I'm gonna add the new layers with the same technique, but now I'm gonna set that with some black color. The flow is still at 30%, and now I'm gonna create some shadow here. Okay, with the same kind of effect, and I'm gonna clip as low this element here. I'm gonna set that to overlay here. That's gonna set that in a different mood. You can, if it's too strong, you can pick your eraser here, and from far away you can erase some part. So that's gonna give you more control to this element. So from now, what I want to do is to create another group just to create a different kind of light for this texture here. So I'm gonna pick this wall element, create a new group, and that's going to be my pixel stretch here. And I'm going to create a new adjustment layer with a hue saturation element, and onto this element I'm going to add 15 onto. You can play with this, I mean, the way you want here, but as you can see, change as low the background. So this is why we are going to click onto the clip mode in order to say to Photoshop that it's going to be displayed only onto our element here. So I'll have to choose something like 15 in order to change this element. The saturation is going to be set as low to a little bit more to make it pop really a lot more. So it's going to be set to 25, something like this. Yeah, so let's say 15, 25. That's going to change a lot. Even I pick some notch in order to have the same kind of effect that I've done before, but it's still going to be a little bit different. So you can rearrange the different element that you can have. So we have our pixel stretch effect here, so we can enhance the different kind of element that we get into it. So we can, for example, display a little bit of exposure, change the light into it. I don't like so much the light effect here, so we are going to set maybe a little bit less of opacity, or you can even create a new layers of light in order to change the element. You can still move them or stretch them a little bit in order to have some different effect with it, and you can collapse then after the file. On the top of this element, so the background, as you can see, is here. It's set in a kind of folder. On the top of it, I'm gonna create an exposure layer, and I'm just gonna expose a little bit the whole image here, so you can see that it's really more vibrant and it's not gonna decay too much. The offset here is setting something more cloudy in a way, if I can say. So now the effect's got a good result in a way. Okay, it's really more popping. So this is our way to this kind of pixel stretch effect. What we can do in order to enhance is to add a new kind of layer here. Pick one of the color that you want to enhance, for example, with your brush tool. You can click onto this element, and we are going to change the blending mode in order to have a different kind of overlay here. And by lowering the opacity, as you can see, it really makes some pop out on some different color. So it's the color. I use the color dodge blending mode in order to change that way. As you can see, it can make pop out the different kind of color. If I pick the yellowish color, yeah, that's gonna make a really cool pop out on some, even onto the building here. You can see that you have a nice pop out without and with it. So mainly this is done for the pixel stretch effect. Let's go on the third part in order to create some text effect with it.